Hello everybody, welcome to Savage Ink Studios. I'm your host, Ink, and today I am sick, so I apologize in advance because I sound like a snooty butler or something with all of my nasal congestion. Just hang in there with me. And today's story is about the time that someone asked me to try on lingerie at work. Hooray! Alright, so in order to give this story a little bit more context, I was working at my local goth kid shop, if you will. And for those of you who have not been in your local goth kid shop or do not have one, this is, by the way, the adult goth kid shop, not the, teeny bopper goth kid shop. So, go ahead, hate on me because I think the Hot Topic is for the teeny boppers. Spencer's is for grown-ups. That's just my opinion. So I was working at the grown-up goth kid store, and you're allowed to wear whatever you want to work as long as it's, not really, really bad. And for me, I did not wear anything even really remotely bad. I would usually just wear a band t-shirt and black or camouflage pants, and that, or, like a Marvel t-shirt or whatever, so I was not scantily clad, just, covered in buttons and whatever. And then, you've got your name tag, which is how people know that you work there. This job, off the bat, was not what I was hoping that it would be, because day one, I could already tell, managers did not trust their workers, or even if they did trust them, it was kind of corporate policy not to trust them, because they are constantly on the verge of going under because of how much theft they experience. So, in order to, take a 10-minute break, your manager has to check every single one of your pockets, and, on your way to leave, and it's very strict and whatever about, anti-theft, which I get it. It's an impulse store, and a lot of the people who go in there are kids who, let's face it, what's the percentage of gothy kids who actually really are troublemakers because they are troubled? I happen to be a gothy kid who was not a super huge troublemaker most of the time, but, it's reasonable, it makes sense. Getting off topic. So anyway, one day I come into work, and I believe that day I was actually wearing plaid pajama pants and some Marvel t-shirt or Jurassic Park or something. And I'm walking around. Another thing that this store did that I didn't totally love was that you are supposed to approach every single customer 3 times. You're supposed to approach them and then tell them about a sale. You're supposed to approach them again and talk to them about whatever it is that they're looking at. And then you're supposed to push another sale on them when they come up to the counter. So I was, doing my job, which I did not like doing, because when I go shopping, I just want to be left alone. I don't want a worker following me around in a tiny area trying to push sales on me. I think it's obnoxious, but I didn't get to make the rules. So I walked up to this guy who happened to be in the back of the store. For those of you grown-up Spencer's shoppers, you know what they keep in the back of the store. I had already approached him once with our first sale. I approached him again and asked him if there was anything that he needed help with. And he's looking at corsets and whatnot. And he turns and he looks at me. Eyes go straight down to the boobs, because my shirt was kind of tight, and looks back up and he goes, "Yeah, actually, can you try this on for me?" and pulls down some weird latexy tight booby corset thing. And at first I was, okay, we got loud music. I obviously misheard this guy. He wants a price or something. So I asked him to repeat himself. "I'm sorry, what was that you wanted?" And he said, "Can you actually try this on for me? Your boobs look to be about the same size as my girlfriend's. I just want to see if this would fit her." And I think that my jaw might actually hit the floor just then. And I tried to be as polite as possible, even though I was horrified, and I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And he's like, well, can't you just even try it on over your shirt? And I told him, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to, like, model clothes for the customers. We're really not allowed to do that, but it has a cup size on the piece, and it will tell you, and you can compare it, and it is usually pretty accurate, but the best advice that I can give you is that I don't think that anything that we sell here fits me, so you might want to look elsewhere or online. And he was cool about it, I guess. He's like, oh, okay, well, thanks, and left. And I was just, that was the very first moment that I realized I don't think that I'm gonna keep working here. This is not a permanent job for me. I did not leave. I didn't quit that day or anything, but that was the beginning of the end, and plenty more awkward situations arose of that job. People asking me about the oh god, what are you supposed to call it on YouTube? The Devil's Tango? Devil's Tango toys, asking me if I'd used them and what it felt like, and me just being like, I'm not doing this, absolutely not. And between that very first moment where I'm just like, this is not going to be my life, I'm not doing this forever, and all of the weird questions about the Devil's Tango toys, and people who were very obviously into very interesting things, and I'm not even talking about Devil's Tango stuff at this point. But I think that the last straw for me with that job was my manager, who obviously had some, like, mental issues, just from being, like, really emotionally erratic and just having that crazy eyes expression sometimes and having unrealistic expectations. The breaking point for me was she wanted me to take a Chucky doll, and this was in the mall. I think they're all in the mall. I don't think any of them have their own individual stores, but I could be wrong. She wanted me to take a Chucky doll out into the mall hallway in front of our store and try to scare little kids with it. And that was the last straw for me. I'm like, I am not frightening children with a baby doll to quote-unquote bring you business, because I gotta be honest with you, I don't think that's gonna bring anybody into our store. It's just gonna get me knocked out by some big dude who's pissed off that I scared his little girl. So that was the end for me. But there were a ton of things about working at that job that were not the fun that you would expect it to be. It was not fun. The discounts were good, but it was not fun. So, I apologize that this story is a little bit shorter than usual, a little bit less to it. I really am genuinely sick, and I could not for the life of me think of what to talk about today. So I thought I'd just throw you guys a little funny bone, you know. I definitely did want to get a video out for you, though, so here it is. You know what to do. If you've got any comments, suggestions, questions, you know where to put them. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. So I've noticed that this happens with really long videos that I try to speed up to a really short amount of time. It glitches and it takes longer than the time that I told it to record to, so it was set at 8 minutes and 50 seconds to line up with the audio, and then it didn't work. I guess it can't go as fast as I'm asking it to go. This little goth chibi girl took an hour and a half to do, and I tried to speed it up to 8 minutes and 50 seconds to match the audio, and apparently it cannot physically make it go that fast. So I'm just gonna sit here and be awkward with you guys until this is done. I apologize also for, like, the quality, the grit, I guess, on the program that I'm streaming it on, it looks clear, but on the program that I'm recording it from, it does not. So I'm going to try and figure that out. Alright, see you guys in the next one.